Have you ever met someone for the first time and you feel that you've known them forever? There's something about them, there's this resonance there. There's this deep inner connection, this knowing that they are safe, that you can be you as much as you can be you with someone you've known for 10, 15, 20 years. Why is that? Why is there something about that person and that relationship and that dynamic that just feels so safe? Let me tell you why. It's because of you. It's because you've done your inner work. It's because you're clearer than what you think on who you are, what you deserve, and what you want and desire in life. That's an important point to really, really grasp here. Acknowledgement is power. Acknowledgement empowers. It helps us move to the next stage of our evolution, to the next stage of our growth, to what's next for us. And I equate that to life like a video game. So if you're playing Mario Brothers and you're at level 1 and you get to the end of level 1, you got to fight Big Bad Bowser and you've got to beat Big Bad Bowser, you only move to the next stage when you beat Big Bad Bowser and you complete all the tasks within the level. But it's that you celebrate that I beat Big Bad Bowser. I've finished the first level and I get to move to the second one. But the computer acknowledges that you've done everything required within the algorithm, whatever it is, to then move to the second level. And now what's bestowed upon you is new lands to explore, new villains to fight, more superpowers, access to new armor and tools and weapons and all that fun stuff, right? But the video game, life, has acknowledged that you have overcome this challenge and now you are moving to the next evolution of life. Now, when you acknowledge that you've grown in a particular way, life says, oh, you've learned this, you've understood this, you've grasped this, you've moved through this, here's what's next, natural growth and evolution. But when you don't acknowledge yourself, when you don't acknowledge the deep inner work that you've done, and we'll go into that in a moment, some examples of that, but when you don't acknowledge that, you just remain stuck and stagnant. And so your relationships will be a reflection of that. You won't be able to trust in relationships. You won't feel safe in relationships. You won't feel the ability to be yourself in relationships because you're not confident about who you are. You either haven't done your inner work or you have done some inner work where you've progressed your sense of self and your self-worth and you've moved through past traumas and inner child wounding and you've made deeper associations with how your past is affecting your present and how your body is just dragging you through the present as if it was the past. Well, you're not acknowledging it. And if you don't acknowledge it, you're just going to get more of what you've always had. And so that feeling that you get when you meet someone and there's just this beautiful connection, maybe there's karma and maybe there's past life soul recognition and maybe there's all of that stuff. But what it also really is a reflection of in this moment, in this life, in this body, is that you have done enough inner work to recognize the resonance of someone that matches your vibration. And you're able to say yes and lean all in, and that's why it feels so good, and you can own that. Or you can be a very clear no and say, nope, this energy is not for me. This personality is not for me. This dynamic isn't for me. It doesn't match me where I'm at in my life, what my values are, what my goals are, what I am and how I want to be in the world. And that's very important to grasp. And so this sense of comfort with others is essentially a sense of comfort within self. You know, you've gone through life maybe and you haven't been confident. Maybe you were abused as a child, sexually, physically, emotionally, a combination of all of that and more. Maybe you were bullied. Maybe you were forced to be a high achiever and a perfectionist. Whatever your pattern is or your quote unquote wounding is, whatever you had to experience and you've had to now overcome, if you don't overcome that as an adult, it remains with you and it sticks with you as an adult. And what that means is that you're wary of people. Your nervous system is on alert. And that's informing your psychology. It's informing how you move or lean into people and how you move away from people. It's informing, do you isolate yourself or do you open your heart? And do you be vulnerable and clear about who you are? Because you trust that If someone doesn't accept or appreciate who you are, or quote unquote rejects you or rejects that version of self that you're expressing in the world, that's not necessarily a complete reflection of you. You don't have to take that personally. Yes, something personal is happening to you, but you don't have to take it personally. That's called an antinomial effect, where, for example, it's raining and it's obviously raining on you, but the clouds aren't personally attacking you. It's just it's something personal that's happening to you, but it's not, you don't have to take it personally. But you can only get to that place when you're confident in yourself. And then the counter of that is you can only open to people in life when you are confident in yourself. And you can only be confident in yourself when you carry high levels of self-worth. You carry high levels of self-worth when you get to know who you are. You get to know who you are by exploring all of the multi-dimensional being that you are. That includes the shadow stuff. That includes the pain and the fear. That includes the stuff that blocks you from intimacy. Whether it's a fear of commitment, a fear of abandonment, a fear of loss, that stops you from getting close to people, that stops you from seeing them for who they are, that stops you from seeing the value they can add to your life, and stops you from seeing and feeling the resonance that's there. Because you're too scared that if you go too deep, it's going to hurt. You're going to be abandoned, you're going to be rejected, you're going to be lost. You're going to lose them, whatever it may be, whatever the wound may be there. And so acknowledge how far you've come, and that resonance, that, man, it's like I've known you for years. That ability to be me, the humor's there, the values are there, the conversation's there, the empowerment's there. And then add intimate partnership, romantic intimate partnership, and sacred sexuality and the exploration of that. It's like, mind blown. See, for me, I've had a fear of intimacy for a very long time. And that started because I felt unsafe in my dynamic as a child. And so I didn't want to give too much of myself. I shut myself down in order to feel safe within myself. Now, I've done a lot of work around that. And there's still times now, even with my wife, when we're so close, and the conversation that we have and the intimacy that we share emotionally and sexually and relationally and the way we live our lives, it's so close, and it's the closest I've ever experienced and the most honest and authentic. And I still feel there's parts of me shut down. It's that pattern that I've just got to break. There's parts of me that don't feel safe enough still. Not because Christine is unsafe or because she's presenting herself in an unsafe way. More so because I'm still opening up my heart. Now, when I say I'm closed down, let me be really clear. I'm in the minutiae of this now. But when you're really deeply connected with someone and you're so open with them and they're open with you, they can feel that at a really deeper level. And so my work around this is to continue to deepen that connection, to de-armor my heart, to go where it's really uncomfortable and to explore why, but to feel it, to allow myself to feel that discomfort and not use coping strategies. In the past, I would use coping strategies of pornography or prostitution or drugs or, activities that are high adrenaline or seek status to position me in a high place, to distract myself from feeling these very uncomfortable feelings of getting close to someone. Now these days I'm far more open, and when I meet someone that I resonate with, boom, if it's instant, I allow it to be instant, and I trust, and I'm comfortable, and I feel safe in my nervous system. It's not informing my psychology in the way that it used to, but it can still be there. And I consider myself someone that's done a lot of deep work and will obviously continue to do more deep work. So the message here is, if you're connecting with someone at a deep level and it's just this, wow, I've known you for years, acknowledge that. It's telling you something deep about yourself. And if you struggle to make those connections, inquire as to why. What's holding you back? What's the fear there? What's the pain in your heart? What's the feeling in your body? What are you avoiding? What are you running from? What are you not addressing? Power and blessings to you. I'll see you soon.